Finally, we have a governor in the United States of America that is willing to stand up against a central bank digital currency, a CBDC. Ron Desantis announced yesterday in the state of Florida that they will be changing their legislature to not be able to accept any type of a federally based or a globally based central bank digital currency in the state of Florida. This is good news, and we hope other states will also soon follow. Let's talk about that today in DeFi IoT. Yes, we hope other states will follow this lead, don't we? We do not want a central bank digital currency. I mean, you can put your opinions down below what you think. I know for convenience purposes, it makes things more convenient. I talk to some people that say, well, you know, I don't like handling money because it can pass, you know, viruses or bacteria, etc. That's true. But yet we've been handling money for thousands of years, right? Well, I guess you could say we've evolved, I guess. Whether you like it or don't like it, and you can put your comments down below, please. We need to look at what we're talking about in freedom and what a CBDC is. Let's go through briefly the actual news briefing from Ron DeSantis' desk. The 46th governor of the state of Florida reads here, Governor Ron DeSantis announces legislation to protect Floridians from a federally controlled central bank digital currency and surveillance state. Because that's basically what it is. Once your currency is no longer tangible, it's not in your hands, it becomes digital, controlled by the Fed, or a third party the Fed appoints, right? Then you are under a surveillance. You have to have permission for any type of transaction. You want to buy an ice cream from the ice cream truck, you got to ask permission for a 50-cent ice cream. It's just not something that I recommend we want to do. Now, you may like CBDCs. Put your comments down below. Like I said, for convenience purposes, it's great. To move around, carry money, that's awesome. But there's the negative side of this. Let's go read through this a little bit here. In Tallahassee, Florida, yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a comprehensive legislation to protect Floridians from the Biden administration. And I'm not just saying it's a Biden administration. I'm not going to go there with this. This is a global thing that's been in the works for many, many years. This is why Bitcoin was created, because this Satoshi Nakamoto foresaw this coming. And this was Bitcoin was to allow us to have that escape into that free market. And what's funny is you're seeing, as the banks are starting to collapse right now, you're seeing that Bitcoin strengthening, which was what it's meant to do, right? Be that hedge force. Let's go into this. The legislative proposal protects consumers and businesses from the federally controlled CBDC by expressly prohibiting the use of a federally adopted central bank digital currency as money within Florida's Uniform Commercial Code. Okay, so it won't be able to be accepted there by merchants. Instituting protections against central global currency by protecting any CBDC issued by a foreign reserve or foreign sanctioned central bank. In other words, we're going to come down for the world banks and so forth. This is where this is coming from, right? On a different type of CBDC that's coming from a global aspect. There's going to be two types of central bank digital currencies. And one would be that for global leaders to use, and the other for the common people like ourselves. Kind of like what you find in some of these other really strict, tyrannical governments. He also is calling on like-minded states to join Florida in adopting similar prohibitions within their respective commercial codes to fight back against the concept nationwide. Remember, there are over 100 nations already considering or rolling out some sort of test pilot or test project for central bank digital currencies right now. And by 16 major countries already rolling them out, including the United States of America. The Fed now is nothing more than a railroad tracks for a eventual central bank digital currency down the road. Right now, a payment platform done by the central bank, the Feds, which really technically is unconstitutional. However, this administration's efforts to centralize bank digital currency is about surveillance and control. That's what DeSantis says. Governor Desantis is ahead of the curve when it comes to protecting individual rights. A central bank digital currency is the cornerstone of the federal government that could track each and every transaction that happens in the world, said Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Petrinas. There would be no privacy. And if there's no privacy, there are no rights. In the same way, Florida's fighting back against the IRS, keeps fighting back against this program. And it's how we protect freedom, liberty, and prosperity. Going on to say, this proposal continues the strong track of Governor Ron DeSantis pushing back on overreaching federal government. And, you know, with all due respect, like him or don't like him, put your comments below. He does have a strong track record for rejecting anything that infringes upon our freedoms. And some people, you know, the media spins this out of, you know, they spin it. So you got to be very careful where you get your information from about what DeSantis is doing and not doing. Personally, you know, I actually like what he's doing in preserving American tradition and the Constitution of the United States of America, which made us great. Now, you may not agree with me. That's fine. Put your comments down below. But I think that if we don't do this, it's a slippery slope we fall down, having lived outside in extreme tyrannical type of governments for 20 years of my life. It's not something we want to slip into, and we already are. But we want to stop this now, and stopping a central bank digital currency is important. I'm going to close with this. A federally controlled central bank digital currency is the most recent way the Davos elites, those of the World Economic Forum, are attempting to backdoor woke ideology like environmental, social, and governance, ESG, into the United States financial system, threatening individual privacy and economic freedom, unlike a decentralized digital currency, okay, which is like a Bitcoin. A CBDC is directly controlled and issued by the government to consumers, giving governmental bureaucrats the ability to see all consumer activity and the power to cut off access to goods and services for consumers for whichever reasons they deem. I add that in there, but that's the truth. Hey, we're just trying to keep you informed. I'll put the link down below. You can read this for yourself. It's very important that we do stand up against the central bank digital currency. Convenience aside, it's like, you know, the Amazon thing. It's very convenient, but yet what's Bezos doing, and where's that money going? What's it go to? Is it something that's threatening our freedoms? Well, we need to look at that stuff too, right? But here are central bank digital currencies. We hope that other states will stand up and follow this lead of Governor Ron DeSantis. And we appreciate, and I give an applaud out to Governor Ron DeSantis for taking that stance. Something that if you are pro-CBDC, you'll see down the road just how that works out. And it doesn't have a good ending to it. We've got role models such as China to look at today. And that's not something we want to have as a role model. I don't believe in that. You may think differently. Please put your comments down below. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure your subscription's up to date. It's free. Give us a thumbs up to get out in the algorithms. Here at DeFi IoT, we process everything, condense it down, give it to you, put the links below so you can do more research if you want to. Try to condense it down in a few minutes of bite for your truth for the day. Give you something to think about today. Pass on and talk about in the workplace. DeFi IoT. If that's what you're interested in, make sure you stay with us, and we'll see you in our next video.